up, Colliders? Welcome back to another episode of TikTok News via Worlds Collide. I'm the kid JW. That's Ms Diva Talks.
What's up, y'all?
What's the moment you realized your workplace was toxic?
Every day I work there.
Pizza parties and unnecessary contests between us.
That too. But the second I clock in, me clocking in is toxic all by itself.
It's the unnecessary people talking so fucking much that I can't fucking stand. Like, just shut the fuck up and do your damn job before I bash your fucking keyboard across your fucking head.
We don't condone violence here on Worlds Collide.
It's really been a rough
I say that with a broke nail, but
right.
Hey, we don't condone violence.
She now has a new manager because the old manager is gone now because they got so
Whatever.
Tell me the moment when you realized that your workplace was toxic AF.
This better not be the reason that I go viral, but at my one
and this would be the reason you go
exactly.
company that I used to work at, we bought a new building, and so we hired movers to move all our furniture from the one building to the other, and the movers wouldn't move our one boss's desk without bubble wrapping it from like top, bottom, middle. They used so many rolls of bubble wrap, and we were charged a lot of money to move that desk because there was cum all underneath his desk, and we knew his door was always shut, and we knew to knock and wait at least 5 seconds for him to zip up. We all knew this. I should have left, and I waited way too long.
Tell me the moment.
Don't look over here at me.
So they knew?
Somebody walked in on him once. That's how they found out.
And that's how everybody knew. When you knock, wait a few seconds.
Yep. As a fellow man.
That's crazy.
As the man here on the show. I look at it like this. If you go to that at your office, the door closed, Kleenex in a trash can. Or if you have to go, just go shoot it straight into the trash can. Don't do it underneath the desk because, well, this is what happens.
Yeah, you end up with a desk full of cum that costs a hell of a lot more money than it should just for movers to move it.
I won't touch that shit. Hell no. First off, why is you know what? Keep going.
Moment when you realized that your workplace was toxic AF.
When I was the first person in our department to ever receive Employee of the Month. When I was the first person in our department to ever achieve a perfect quality rating as far as the quality metrics of your work. When I was the person that held the record for quality metrics for not only how high they were, but how long I was able to hold that record. It was to the point where everybody in my department that was in charge of inspection would hardly even look at my work because they trusted it so much they knew that it was pretty much guaranteed to be immaculate. When I would work 60-hour work weeks sometimes to make up for planning issues or scheduling issues or equipment failure or people calling out or people not doing their job, and I did that for years, for doing not only my area, but I also mastered 3 other areas in the plane to where any single issue or question that was brought up, I would always know the answer to it, and I was always able to figure out a solution no matter if the person...
Right, because I guarantee you they weren't paying him enough.
Right.
In charge of that area was there or not. When I would always be in my work area or in the bathroom or on lunch break. I would not be somebody that would be standing around or socializing in other areas or standing at the computer or bullshitting around with their friends. I was always where I was supposed to be. And despite all of that, there was about a 4-month period, and I might be generous with that, where my manager would continuously throughout the day come into my area to try to catch me on my phone. Mind you, this is the same guy that would walk past people that would literally be watching Netflix on their phone while doing their work. But God forbid I answer a text message.
Tell me the moment.
Yeah, we know those managers.
Right. That's because you're doing your job too well.
Yep.
When
I
you
didn't want to get
realize
rid of you because you're a threat.
Realized that your workplace was toxic.
Okay, so I used to work for Emirates Airlines, and on my first ever flight, I was reported by my supervisor for a bunch of like safety and security related things that I did wrong. But
what?
Decaf.
I didn't catch that. I don't know where she worked.
Airlines, that's all I got.
Okay.
also for my shirt being creased. Now, I didn't really think anything of it because I was like, okay, it's my first flight. Like, I'm only human. People make mistakes. But I get home from the flight and I have an email from my manager. And of all the things that I did wrong, guys, I literally didn't even secure the aircraft properly for takeoff and landing. Like, I fucked up pretty big on certain, like, very important things. But the one thing in her email was, Lema, why was your shirt creased? And I just thought this has to be a joke. So I ignored it and I went to bed. But I wake up the next morning to a phone call from Tanya. And Tanya's like, Lema, I sent you an email about your shirt being creased and you didn't answer. Is there a reason why you didn't answer? And I honestly, like, I just woke up, so I was like, honestly, Tanya, I thought it was a joke. She was like, I'm sending you a follow-up email and I want you to respond to it. And she hangs up, and I look at the email, and I kid you not, guys, it is instructions on how to iron my shirt and also an invitation to come into the Image and Uniform office to learn how to iron my shirt so that I know how to do it properly before my next flight. Guys, I could have killed people on an airplane and all they cared about was my shirt being creased.
Priorities.
I believe her.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Cause I know working at fucking Meyer. They used to hate that Myers. They used to hate that. Like, oh, your shirt's untucked, bro. Why? Who cares?
Right. Who cares?
I am literally picking stuff up and putting things down. My shirt's gonna come on down.
Like, you care more about the aesthetics, the presentation, the picture, than actually keeping everybody safe.
But me, right? Okay, you left the door unlocked. But hey, your shirt was. Learn how to iron your shirt.
Right. Learn how to iron your shirt.
We want people to see you looking good before they crash.
Oh, Lord.
Realized that your workplace was toxic.
So I'm not going to mention the company by name, but there were a few red flags. Like when the CEO got up in front of a bunch of us in the meeting and told us that even if
the Red Cross.
patient kicks, hits, spits, or cusses us out, that we should treat them with uncommon courtesy. Or was it the DON who used to stalk our social media? She called me about like 2 different posts that didn't mention the hospital at all. It was just about nurses having unsafe work conditions and intimidated me, told me that I needed to delete them. Was it the gag order the whole hospital had to sign? Oh, I think it was when the nurse manager had our charge nurses threaten to report us to the Board of Nursing for patient abandonment if we refused unsafe patient assignments or refused to work without PPE. No, I know what it was. It was when our nurse manager used to refuse to listen to our complaints about unsafe work conditions, and when I made an inevitable medication error, she tried to gaslight me, so I called her out in front of HR. And then she got pissed and tried to retaliate, so I wrote an 8-page grievance against her, which was conveniently reviewed by her best friend, who was the DON that used to Facebook stalk us. Again, I'm not mentioning any names. I'm just glad I got out of there.
I like how they put the name on the
Right.
with her shirt, and like, I'm not mentioning names.
But this is exactly why you don't add coworkers to social media.
Yeah, but they can
especially management.
They can still see your post even if you're not adding as a coworker, even if you don't add them under.
And this is why my page is private.
It's just why I go in, and I only add friends that I see do illegal stuff. Because if I see you do illegal stuff, I'm gonna notate said illegal things.
So anytime you
and it goes into my memory bank. So,
anytime you feeling froggy.
Yeah, we both can leap. Congratulations, we both can leap. Like I did with homegirl in the Capitol. Yup, I spilled their dog. Yup.
The moment when you realized that your workplace was toxic.
So I was a salesperson at a store that shall not be named. One day I received my paycheck and I looked at it and I realized I wasn't getting commission. I've been working there for several months, and my coworker, who was a guy, was getting paid commission, but he had been working there less than I had. Let's put that into perspective. So I talked to the other female coworkers and I said, hey, what's going on? They said, oh, our boss doesn't like paying women like the men. So one day on my off day, I went to my boss and I said, hey, I'm the only full-time female salesperson and I'm not getting paid the same as the men. That looks bad. He says, I don't see why I should pay you the same as the other guys. So I had to debate him on why I should get paid the same as the guys. He said, oh, well, this guy, he's worked here longer than you. I said, no, I've worked here longer. And he got paid more than me and we have the same job. You can bet your ass I won that debate.
Tell me the moment when...
I bet you did. That's why you come in with receipts.
Right, I would definitely record that conversation too, though.
Exactly.
When you realized that your workplace was toxic AF.
When I was 18, I used to work in a clothes shop. It was one of my first jobs and I was saving money for when I went to uni. Bearing in mind when I worked there I had no customer service experience at all. When you were on the tills you were told to offer people gift cards, which I always thought was weird because I thought if you're going out to buy a gift card you'd go out to buy a gift card. You wouldn't just think, oh yeah, I'll pick up a £20 gift card with my purchase or whatever. But I always tried to do it, and there was this one manager that absolutely hated my gut. And one day she was watching me and I forgot to do it, like genuinely forgot to do it. And then she pulled me into the office and she was like, how do you think it makes my managers look knowing that they hired you? Because I'd forgot to offer a gift card. And then I was so angry at the way she was speaking to me, I started to tear up, but I wasn't going to let myself cry in front of her. And she goes, oh, are you going to cry?
Tell me the moment when you realize...
Toxic bitch.
Right.
You're gonna be mad because I forgot to offer her a gift card. She was probably gonna deny it anyway.
But it's free.
She was probably gonna deny it anyway.
It's over in the UK. They probably accept
Whatever.
free stuff.
that your
We hate free stuff.
workplace was toxic AF.
I'm gonna call him Kim and Kanye because HIPAA. On the third floor of an assisted living facility lived Kim and Kanye. They've been married for years. Kanye only had one arm. Kim's condition had declined to the point where she was in a wheelchair, could barely get up by herself. Everyone knew Kanye was going senile, but no one thought anything of it. Kanye comes up to the nurse's station one night and says, I got him. The nurses are like, fuck. Kanye says, there is this man in my room, but I got him. Don't worry about it. The nurses rush upstairs only to find that Kim's chair is there, her wheelchair, but Kim's not in the room, which Kim can't get up by herself. The nurses decide to look out the window, and there's Kim lying on the ground, dead. The news want to report a story. The family says no. The family says go ahead and bury her. We don't really give a shit. Our boss comes in and tells us if we ever speak of this or catch anyone talking about it to report them, everyone will be fired immediately and might be sued. That is a short version of how my job covered up a murder.
How? I was about to say, did we just listen to your job cover up a murder?
Right, like, I know I'm shopping right now, but damn, this sounds like a murder going on.
Tell me the moment when you realize that you're...
If it's a nursing home, they do that a lot.
I'm sure they do.
Yes, they do that a lot.
Especially for their employees as well.
Oh yeah, they're nursing home because they know 9 out of 10 people who are in a nursing home, they know no one's gonna come check on them.
And that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Your workplace was toxic AF.
One of the males came out to me, flopped his dick out and pissed on my foot. The same guy put his hands up my dress and scratched my leg. There's a girl who always takes my food out of the fridge. She never asks me, she just grabs it. They scream from one end of the building to the other. One of them always yells out, come wipe my ass. I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mum, but the conditions are pretty bad.
Tell me the moment.
So, at one point, did you leave? Like, there's no way to say through all of that.
When you realized that your workplace was toxic AF.
So the last job I worked at, we were like closed because of COVID, and a black man came up to the window because obviously he didn't know we were closed. So I went up to go and speak to him and be like, oh sorry, we're closed. And my manager turned around and said, no, we don't speak to, and then said the N-word. And you know when you just don't know what to say, you're just in disbelief. Anyway, I went up to him and said, sorry, we're closed. And then there was a whole conversation about how she didn't believe in Black Lives Matter and everything and all of that. And it was just very apparent that she was racist. And then she kind of got the hint that everyone in the workplace was calling her racist. And she was like, said to all of us, it was more the young people that were saying it. She was like, I'm not racist, so don't call me racist. I'm not racist, I just don't really like them. Them being black people. So I left and now I do social media.
Tell me. That's racist. Like, why do racists not think that?
The entitlement.
True.
The moment when you realized that your workplace was toxic.
So I worked for a company that required me to travel. I would leave my home at 5 a.m. I wouldn't come back until 11 p.m., shower, eat, and then do it all over again. Sometimes I would work 9 days straight without a break. And mind you, this company valued family outside of work. That if you need anything, then you could come to them. Well, I got a text saying that my stepbrother passed away. I said, hey, I gotta go. I'll come back and I'll pick up where I left off. I should only be gone just for today, and then I'll figure out when the funeral and everything is later. They're like, no, you can't leave. Like, you can't leave right now. And at my work in the lobby, they have like the news playing. My stepbrother was on the news, and I said, do you believe me now? They're like, well, you can't leave right now. And I said, well, I need to, and it's an emergency. I said, I've been here for the past 2-3 years, never asked for vacation, never asked for a day off. And now that it's an emergency, I can't do anything about it. So I threw my keys on the counter and never went back. After that, 2 GM, 4 district managers, 1 regional manager all got fired. Not because of me, though.
Tell me the moment
They got what they deserved.
Right.
when you realized that your workplace was
So I used to work at a beauty retailer that really prides themselves on being like inclusive and diverse and whatever. So I went on mat leave and I came back to COVID and an entirely new management team. So we had a lot of Zoom meetings and stuff like that to talk about where the company was at. And in the Zoom meetings, they would use the word powwow to describe the meetings. And for those that don't know, I'm Indigenous. A powwow is like an important gathering in my culture. So I was super offended by it. I brought it up a couple times and nothing really happened. And then one time in a Zoom meeting, they used the R word to describe something kind of like silly. So I mentioned it in the moment.
What's the R word? I'm sorry.
Retarded.
Because there's a lot of different R words for YouTube.
And was like, hey, this is super offensive. And it turned into this giant thing where I was told that I can't police people's words. And yeah, needless to say, I don't work there anymore. And the manager said it was okay because she had Indian blood.
Of course, they always throw that in there like, oh, I have 2% African American blood in my it's like, really?
I mean, in all fairness, every company I work, we always use meetings as powwows. That was always our go-to every company.
That you can't say that now.
So it's like, hey, we got this powwow starting.
Read the room. Familiarize yourself.
All of us and white people, so yeah, pretty much passed.
Tell me the moment when you realized that your workplace was toxic AF.
So I was a waitress for like 5 years, and I kept wondering at this one specific place why
Hooters?
I wasn't getting good shifts, good closing shifts. I was a really good waitress, handled my tables well, never did anything unprofessional, but it was a smaller restaurant and only like 5 people got good sections. Anyways, I found out later that our general manager was sleeping with one of the girls that I worked with. She was a terrible waitress, but she got all of the good sections because obviously they were sleeping together. To make it even worse, his pregnant wife would come in all the time and everyone in the staff had to pretend like we didn't know that he was sleeping with her.
What's this? Shout out to Rocket Mortgage. You got anything you want to add?
No. No. Not after that.
No.
Not after that line.
All right. Just it is what it is. When your wife called HR because you got your secretary pregnant. But anyway, as always, Colliders, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Share with someone who you think would like it as well. If you're not already a Collider, I don't know why you're not. I really don't, because we have a lot of fun over here. If you want to check out TikTok news or this video for yourself, because there are more parts, because this is part 1, so there's more parts after this one. The links will be in the description below, along where you can follow me and the official JW on our own YouTube channels. You got anything else you want to add?
Nah.
No? Okay, cool. Bye, y'all.
Later.